Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Insight. This is a show we do at least monthly to bring someone in and give you insight on what's going on around Tullahoma. I'm very, very proud today to have Jason Quick with us. He is our new city administrator. And not really new because that was about 7 months ago.
About 7 months ago, correct.
And the reason he hadn't been on before is, guess what? When you fall into that job, there's a whole lot of work got to be done.
It's fun work, though. It's fun work and exciting work, and 7 months have flown by very fast.
Oh, I'm sure they have. And, you know, Jason and I have several things to talk about. But right now, before we go to commercial break, the first thing we want to do is talk about the passing of our friend, our county mayor, Mr. Judd Matheny.
Yeah. You know, it was a shock to the whole community.
Oh, heavens.
And quite honestly, the state for what happened with Judd. I know there's a lot of people that are hurting right now, but I think the legacy that Judd Matheny is leaving for the county and for the city is something that a lot of us city and county leaders are going to strive to meet. Judd had an outstanding vision for the county.
Right.
And really, he and I had started working closely together on making sure that Tullahoma and Coffee County and Manchester were all working in sync as one, which is very important now as the new industrial site on I-24 is coming into play. So, you know, tragic loss of a strong civic leader, tragic loss of a friend to so many of us, including
really,
you, I know.
Sure.
And, you know, right now we're just rallying around the family, doing everything we can to support them and support the county commission as they're seeking additional leadership and guidance over the next several years.
And Judd, you know, to the best of my recollection, is the first time, and if not forever, that we have had a Coffee County administrator, executive director is what he used to be, I believe, and then turned into the mayor from Tullahoma.
From Tullahoma, and that was part of what was really strong in his leadership is he kept that broad vision of who is Coffee County, and he was very good at reminding himself and us of the borders of Coffee County, and that every city, every citizen within that border is his responsibility as far as vision, as far as growth, as far as services and those types of things. So he's going to
sometimes as far as what proper kind of money needs to be split up. 100%.
He was very good with that, but he's going to be sorely missed.
Oh, yes.
But I do think Mayor Noah's made a great comment last night as far as I think the county and both Manchester and Tullahoma are in great positions for the future. And I think a lot of it can be attributed to the work that Judd has done over the years.
Very much so. Yes. Very much so.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'm gonna set the tone for today. Okay. By one of the things that I've written, and it makes perfect sense for what we have to go through a lot of times in the city of Tullahoma, our national government. And this is, we live in a land of the free because of the brave that fought for our rights, many to their grave. Freedom of speech is the law of the land, so when I voice my opinion, I hope you'll understand. You can disagree with me. It's your choice to do. But don't hate me for my words, because I'll refuse to hate you. Please hear the sermon I'm trying to preach. We all have the right to freedom of speech.
That's so strong.
Strong.
That is very strong.
Very strong.
Encourages us to share ideas and be able to debate each other without
hating each other.
100%.
And I tell you what we're going to do right now is take a quick commercial break, and then we'll let Jason tell us a lot about what's going on and what we have to expect in the near future in Tullahoma, Tennessee. We'll be right back.
We teach Parkinson's patients how to move big and not let the Parkinson's slow them down. I've had patients I've treated in-house that could not even stand up, could not roll over in the bed, left the facility walking with a walker, have come back to us in outpatient and continued their big program and are now completely, handling life. The success of the program is just phenomenal.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
I want to invite y'all to come by Clayton's, downtown Tullahoma. We try to serve the community, the area, and we try to help people with their feet and comfortable shoes. We still measure feet. We have a great new arch mat. We have insoles. Please come see us at Clayton's and let me help you find some comfortable shoes for those achy feet.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton's Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
Serving you as a local firefighter.
Proudly served our country in the United States Air Force.
Serving Tullahoma.
Helping our kids.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop. Your comfort is our service. We'd like to thank Tullahoma for the privilege of serving your heating and cooling needs.
Parkview Senior Living, active, independent senior living at its finest.
All right, folks, we're back, and today we have Jason Quick, the city administrator for Tullahoma. And Jason, what I'd like for you to do right now, if you would, is just sort of tell our citizens how your first 7 months has gone and a few of the things that you know you're involved in, and just that camera right there belongs to you, and those are your citizens out there.
Yes, sir.
And tell them about you and about the things that are going on. And I probably have a question or two, but we'll get to that because right now the floor is yours.
So, you know, you made a statement that the citizens are mine, but I really feel like I'm the citizens, I'm their servant, so I appreciate that. 7 months has flown by fast, as I had mentioned earlier. I've gotten to know a lot of people within City Hall, and I can tell you that we have some of the most outstanding citizens in City Hall serving our community right now. We have some outstanding department heads. We have some outstanding, employees all around. My focus has been getting to know every one of them, from the department head down to the person who's picking up the garbage, to the person who's riding, 6 to 6 midnight from 6 in the evening to midnight, and then 6 in the morning for the police and fire and whatnot. So my focus has been getting to know them and getting to understand what makes them tick, what makes them want to serve the city of Tullahoma. And I've heard some outstanding stories. We have some people who've been with us 20, 30 years who are still going strong and loving every minute of it. So that's been a lot of my focus, and obviously sitting down with our aldermen, getting to understand more about what their thoughts are on Tullahoma, present, and then Tullahoma future. What are they looking for? So it's gone by very fast, and I've enjoyed having what I call the quick cup of coffee with citizens who call and say, could I come sit with you? And I just ask them if they want sugar in their coffee, and we sit down and have a good conversation. So it's been really good, John. There's a lot of exciting things on the horizon for Tullahoma. I think we are uniquely positioned to take advantage of that, but we've got to do it in a very strategic way that we don't lose all that makes Tullahoma unique for the sake of growth. That cannot happen. We must maintain our heritage and our way of life and what has brought people here. We don't want that to interrupt that. Let me give you an example. My wife and I lived in Franklin, Tennessee, before Franklin was Franklin.
Yeah,
and it was that quiet little town outside of Nashville. And so once everybody found out about Franklin, they want to live there because it's a quiet little town. Well, overnight, it was no longer the quiet little town. It was a quiet big town, and they had some major issues. So I've seen that happen, and I want to make sure that we don't do anything to lose the uniqueness of Tullahoma.
Right, right. And I did a lot. excuse me, I did a lot of work around Franklin. I remember going in the mall and, who's the guy who that went broke that tells everybody how much?
Dave Ramsey.
The only building down there where that mall was Dave Ramsey's building. There was nothing down there.
Right.
And so I've seen Franklin from that all the way to where it is right now.
I have too.
You know, we have, because of the interstate site over there, which is, they changed the name of it from a mega site to Interstate 24 site. Why? I guess it's more palatable. I don't know. We have Arnold Center out here, who is, the government's dropping billions of dollars out there for the next thing. See, I came here when I was 2 years old when Arnold Center was built from Oak Ridge. With a whole lot of people from Oak Ridge came here. We had 2 schools, South Jackson Civic Center and East Lincoln School. People said, "Oh, what's happening?" Well, what's happening is comparable to that right now. We're bringing people in here that are going to get us to Mars. And there's all kinds of money and all kinds of people are going to come to this town. And we can't stop that.
No, we can't.
But we need to, like, as you said, we need to navigate it in the most palatable way possible.
And so you're exactly right. And I think the key thing, and I've heard people say this, we don't want to be the next Murfreesboro. No one agrees with that statement more. I don't think Tullahoma needs to be the next Murfreesboro. As far as I know, there's only one town in the entire world named Tullahoma.
That's it.
And I want us to be the first and only Tullahoma, and we're not looking to replicate what others have done. Growth is not always a good thing if it's not handled properly. So, you know, I think we have reached that point, and you were very spot on with, we haven't seen growth wanting to come to Tullahoma like this. And so it's new to us and new to our board, obviously. It's new to our planning commission. It's new to our city leaders and department heads. And so we are now getting really prepared for that. A great example to that would be the planning commission is going through a training right now on things that need to be considered for growth, infrastructure, the way that zoning and plats and all that are laid out, subdivision ordinances and those types of things, getting prepared for that. And I know there's been some frustration saying, well, we should know how to do that. And my thought has been, well, we really shouldn't because we haven't faced this before. No. So I feel very confident in the training and the people that we have in the Planning Commission. I feel very confident with the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Are they always going to agree? No, but that's where the greatest ideas come from, is from debate and from exercising the freedom of speech, as you mentioned. And that's how ideas are born, and that's how things will develop. So again, I think we're very uniquely positioned right now to accept that growth, but make sure that we're very mindful not to lose our identity as to what makes us so unique as we are right now.
You know, and I don't know, CJ, you let me know when we're about halfway here. You're navigating through this competently, I might say.
Thank you.
And respectfully, with what the citizens feel like is a dysfunctional board. You know, I mean, it's all they can do is argue with each other for hours and not accomplish, it doesn't seem like a whole lot. And Mr. Developer out here, you know, it doesn't affect any of their dinner tables. Mr. Developer out here who's got, let's put this off for another month, that might be $5,000–6,000 worth of interest on a piece of ground he's got to pay. And then it's going to get to where he's not going to do that anymore. And you're not going to find builders who want to come here and build. And a lot of people say, oh, we're bringing in out-of-town people to make money. We don't have people here who are apartment builders and condo builders. We've got to bring people. Now, our subcontractors are going to be used, and the money's going to stay here. But we've got to look at the future in a way that it's not been looked at before. I want my kids to come home.
Yes.
Your kids don't want your 3,000 square foot ranch style house with a 2-acre lot to mow. We've got to build something for them, not for you. And we've got to be insightful and think about that and be young spirited.
So I look at it, I look at the city of Tullahoma like I would look at a church. I've had several opportunities to be a member at different churches as I've moved around. And sometimes you look at a church, and if a church doesn't continue to recruit younger members, that church will eventually start dying off in a way that members are no longer alive, unfortunately.
Right.
And so that church starts dying a slow death because they haven't recruited new members. So those new members for us are going to be young citizens. And what Tullahoma we have to do is we have to position ourselves so that young families want to come here for not only career opportunities, but more importantly for quality of life. And they're not going to be sacrificing some of the amenities that a town our size should have in order to live here. I think that's what we have to look at. And you hit it right. People, young people don't want to have to come home from work and spend 2 hours mowing a yard. They want to do as little as they can. Now, I will admit, at my age, I used to have 10 acres to mow a week, and that was my solitude time.
Nobody can get to you.
Nobody can get to me, but that's not what people are wanting now. So then we start looking at what is affordable housing, and what does that look like? And I think that's one of the challenges that we've had so far, is defining what is affordable housing. And I think for some people, they think affordable housing is public housing, and that's not the case. So for example, if you were to go to a real estate website, realtor.com, for example, and the affordable housing for many people, startups, especially younger ones, are looking from a 200 to about a 300, 325 range. If you were to go look right now, there's nothing on the market. I have a co-worker right now who just moved here. She can't find anything in her price range, and so she's having to try to find rentals and those kind of things until that happens. But we have to make sure that people understand what is affordable housing and what does that mean for the community. And then, most importantly, where's the best place for that affordable housing to go? We all know that infrastructure is going to be one of our biggest challenges. Do we have the roadways? Do we have the electrical and other utilities that we need in order to place a certain number of plots somewhere, or a plat somewhere? So those are things we have to look at, and that's what we're focused on.
Okay, what we're going to do right now, I'm sure it's time for us to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back.
We teach Parkinson's patients how to move big and not let the Parkinson's slow them down. I've had patients I've treated in-house that could not even stand up, could not roll over in the bed, left the facility walking with a walker, have come back to us in outpatient and continued their big program, and are now completely, handling life. The success of the program is just phenomenal.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
I want to invite y'all to come by Clayton's, downtown Tullahoma. We try to serve the community, the area, and we try to help people with their feet and comfortable shoes. We still measure feet. We have a great new arch mat. We have insoles. Please come see us at Clayton's and let me help you find some comfortable shoes for those achy feet.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton's Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
Serving you as a local firefighter.
Proudly served our country and the United States Air Force.
Serving Tullahoma.
Helping our kids.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop. Your comfort is our service. We'd like to thank Tullahoma for the privilege of serving your heating and cooling needs.
Parkview Senior Living, active, independent senior living at its finest.
City administrator today, and Jason, what do you see? I know I had Mike Dent on last week about he's the young man who is doing the recruiting and hiring for the Air Force. Those engineers and stuff, which will be probably around a couple of hundred of them.
Oh, yeah.
They've got nowhere to live here. They're having to go to Murfreesboro. Second thing is, he said there is no child care. I would have never thought about that being a major issue, but these young people coming back have children, affordable housing. And I told them at the Planning Commission one night, I said, just because something doesn't have a whole lot of square feet doesn't mean it's trash. It might have granite countertops and better carpet than you've got and better, bigger trim. It's just a smaller version. These young people, they're living in condos downtown in Nashville and these cities.
And loving every minute.
Some of them don't even drive, don't even own a car. That's what we need to do. We don't need to look at what we wanted 40 years ago. They don't want that.
So I want to go back to what I'd mentioned to you off air is it's like the church.
Right.
And so you'll see a lot of churches are now having a contemporary service and they're having a traditional service at their churches. And they know that with those contemporary services, that's what the younger generation, the younger membership needs. And so they've seen that. And it's sort of like, you hit it right on the head. What we may not want in a 1,200 square foot smaller accommodation, that's exactly what the younger generation wants. And so we've always got to keep all of that in mind. Recently I met with Commander Gordon from AEDC, and he told me the same thing that Mike told you, which is his biggest issues are affordable housing and right behind it, child care. Last month I was able to go to the Tennessee Municipal League, which is a meeting of city administrators and officials from all over the state.
Right.
And not really to my shock, but almost to my comfort, was we're not the only ones that are that are dealing with this. This is a national issue that we're looking at. So from an affordable housing standpoint, I know we have a large inventory of lots that have been approved that development has not started yet. What those house sizes and lot sizes look like, I'm not really sure. But I know we do have that ready to go. Now, what we have seen is a very strong slowdown in developing those sites. And a lot of that's due to your interest rates have gone up. And so the developers have told us we need to wait for those rates to go down some so then we can get along with our plans. So they still plan on doing that development. And in talking to Commander Gordon, he stated a lot of his people live in Murfreesboro. They will drop their child off at child care in Murfreesboro, and then they're going to drive down 24 and go to the base. And he says, obviously, that's not good for attendance. That's not good for being on time. And that's not good for focus, because honestly, if a parent has a child in a child care center,
45 minutes
they're
away.
always going to be concerned and worry about that. So I will tell you, I know that we have a lot of inventory hoping to be built soon based on interest rates, but I know that there are plans right now being drawn up, and I know some dirt has been moved for a child care center that, from the last understanding I have, will be able to take on an additional 88 to 100 children, and that'll be good. It won't be just a daycare, but it'll be some actual academic work to go along with that.
Did he just say 5 minutes?
I heard 5 minutes behind me.
5 minutes, all right. So the government, one thing, I liked Mary Samaniego, smart gal. She told me that, she said, if something doesn't happen, and they're talking about the Anderson Farm, she said the government come in here and take that and put whatever they want on it, and you've got no choice. We need to deal with stuff like that where we can make the choice on what's going to be there versus the federal government making the choice.
Great example. I know that there's been a lot of talk with the Summerlin project, which is north, right there on the Moore County line,
right
out there. You know, that's going to bring in 900 housing units. It's going to be 300 single-family homes, 300 townhomes, and then also 300 apartment complexes. But to ground and foundationalize that, we're going to have a large commercial retail space. So
sure.
That looks really good for us. Now, we haven't had a lot of talk about Summerlin lately because now the devil's in the details. We have
sure.
our attorneys talking to their attorneys, and we're waiting to get some information from them. Hopefully that'll be coming up soon. But that's an example of where we've had the opportunity to try to help put development where we think it ought to go, along with the developer who obviously liked that site. But a lot of, from my perspective, which is, you know, worth a cup of coffee, is a lot of our growth, I think, can be contained or occur outside our normal city boundary when we look at our urban growth boundary. Where on the outskirts of Tullahoma, not going towards Franklin County, you know, if you think about it, there's a ton of opportunity from on 55 from Tullahoma to Manchester. Now we know the Guard and the base aren't a lot, but there's still some opportunities to develop there. And then there's opportunities obviously going towards Shelbyville, and there's even a little bit going the other way. So what I'm saying is, as opposed to trying to put a lot of development within the city limits, try to have it more on the outskirts, and that will help in a lot of ways.
But
yes,
the only way that your tax rates won't go up as a homeowner in Tullahoma right now is for development inside the city limits. Those folks who live out there, their address is Tullahoma, they don't pay city taxes. They beat the streets up. They you know, use this town and don't pay for it.
And that's the challenge we have. And so when you talk about the development within the city limit, not only are we looking at development for residential housing,
right,
but retail and commercial. So our sales tax collection has started to not minimize, but it's started going downward, which is following the state trend, which is showing
sure.
the same thing. So that's why we continue to look at opportunities for businesses to open up and do everything we can to help them there to generate a stronger sales tax base. But you're exactly right. You know, if we have so many people that live in Murfreesboro and they drive the interstate and then they come into the base off exit 117, they're never going to touch the city of Tullahoma to buy gas, groceries, or do any kind of retail shopping for the most part. So a lot of people want to, you know, work where they live and live where they work.
Yeah.
So that's very important, and we're focusing on trying to get that accomplished.
Okay. I bet that 5 minutes is up. We'll take a quick commercial break and come back and end. No, but George told me.
We teach Parkinson's patients how to move big and not let the Parkinson's slow them down. I've had patients I've treated in-house that could not even stand up, could not roll over in the bed, left the facility walking with a walker, have come back to us in outpatient and continued their big program and are now completely, you know, handling life. The success of the program is just phenomenal.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great visit for me with Jason Quick, and I hope it's not going to be 7 months before we get him back in here again.
Sir. You call me and I'll be here, I'll bring our new community engagement officer, Emma Cook.
Sure.
And she really can help tell you what we're doing around town
I'll tell you what, let's do. You figure out when you and Emma can come, and we'll bring her on and do the living show, because that's something that y'all can get in here 6 to 8 minutes and we leave. Hey,
that's good.
He's telling us time's up. Jason, thanks,
John.
buddy.
I appreciate
Keep the good work up.
Thank you, sir.
We'll see you next time on Insight.
Wow.